When I was my mother womb, the man came and told my mother that when my mother give birth to me, they will carry me and go and give for money woman.
When I be thinking, say because of corn, when they carry me go give them.
They practice it. Yes, because why they were doing it is that there was no money, hungers, and sometimes maybe people, he have an issue in the police, he has issue in task.
When the man bring my parents problem that he's going to bring juju, so the man said that let them return nobody to pay the money. Then I said that love should go.
You know, the way we condemn slavery, the way we condemn apartheid, the way we condemn every form of criminality, this is the crudest form of slavery, where children are forced against their will, even sometimes before they are born.
The Obudu Mountain Resort is located in Becheve land in Obanliku local government area of Cross River State in Nigeria's south-south region. It is 1,600 meters above sea level and enjoys a semi-temperate climate. It is also the site of the world-famous Obudu Mountain Race. Rebuilt and modernized by former Governor Donald Duke, who also changed its name from Obudu Cattle Ranch to Ranch Resort. The resort is majestic and is in truth the pearl in the tourism crown of the state. It is fair to say that it goes some way in helping justify the sobriquet of the state, the people's paradise. However, at the foot of the resort and spread across the 10 communities that make up the Becheve nation is a horrific story. Follow us as we take you on a tour. We spent the previous night at the ranch and are setting out for Keyi, one of the 10 communities that make up the Becheve nation. Like its sister villages, Keyi practices what is known as money marriage. The village is a grueling 3-hour trek away from the ranch. The bikes have dropped off team members at this spot because they cannot go further. From here on, we will continue on foot. Because of the challenging terrain, the villagers can only convey their farm produce to the market on the ranch by carrying them on their heads. We are exhausted and only too glad to find that our path leads through the stream with clear and clean water. We drink our fill, refill our water bottles and cool ourselves of the heat generated by exertion.
Yes, thank you.
Well done, no?
Initially, we are warmly received by the village head. According to him, Keyi faces many developmental challenges. The economy of the village is in bad shape because the ranch resort has fallen on hard times, leading to the loss of jobs by natives who used to work there.
Before we ranch be there, we be the field fine. But as the project never reach, we never the field fine. By that time like this now, we get banana. If we go sell our banana, they buy with the benefit. But now, no way of the banana again. We not sell the banana again, so we not the benefit for anything. So before ranch, they were poison, they work, they were youth, they work, they benefit something.
In addition, the much touted Cross River State government's ranch expansion project is yet to commence. Keyi produces bananas in large quantities. We were served a few. The village also produces cassava, plantain, corn, groundnuts, cocoa. The people indeed have sufficient food for their needs. But they find it difficult to convey their goods to the market because they have to carry every produce on their head and trek 3 hours to the nearest market. The village has a primary school, but no secondary school. Kids who pass out of the primary school must trek 3 hours daily to the ranch if they are to go to secondary school. So what do the developmental challenges faced by KE and other Becheve communities have to do with money marriage? As it will soon be shown, the money marriage culture thrives in the absence of economic opportunities, education, among other factors. We tried to enter the main village, but were prevented by the youths of the community. Although the team had not disclosed the full reason for its presence in KE, the youth suspected, and quite rightly too, that we were there on an anti-money marriage mission.
No, like I was telling him, if people didn't want us to come, we don't want.
No, we don't have problem with you now. We don't have.
No, I heard he was just telling us. I heard people have some issues. With
No. Are you a pastor? Huh?
The pastor.
And what must you carry pastor judgment and contest with you?
No, I'm telling you what he told us.
No, go and meet chief. You are coming there. We'll settle your own problem.
The village head and youth leader are alleged to have money wives, which might explain their apparent hostility. The youths led us back to the home of the village head. At our joint meeting, the spokesperson of the youths asked us to switch off cameras in a tone that carried a not so subtle threat.
Just want to know wetin carry una come here, because we have never been receiving stranger like this number in this council. So in any word we can speak here, anybody that have his camera or phone, we don't want anything on present now. Everything off. No, nothing should be on at all, because from then, we young boys, our heart is just like a human being. At the time we cannot control ourselves. So that is only what we have to say now.
The team had planned to spend the night at the village and then proceed the next day to Imale, a Becheve village in neighboring Cameroon that is a grueling 4-hour trek from KE. But the hostile attitude of the youths of KE forced us to change our itinerary. We turned back. Although other Becheve villages can be accessed directly from the ranch, KE is a sort of gateway to those villages. For instance, while a direct trip from the ranch to Imale is 8 hours on foot, it is 4 hours from KE. Money marriage is an elaborate culture. It begins when a debt or debts are incurred and continues with the faithful recording of such debts. For this, the Becheve people use a totem consisting of ropes and sticks.
If it is this number is less. So if it is just 2, it means the money is not much. So for this number, it means it must be plenty of money.
It must be plenty of money.
Okay. They are tiny knots. Like here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The record they were keeping is that because they did not know how to read and write, so they were using a rope. I give you a goat, I tie. I give you a goat, because they know how a goat look like, how a chicken on look like, how money on a pan look like. So you cannot just come from nowhere to there and say, hey, this man owe me. No.
These totems are made from the raffia palm. The security for the debts are female children, and sometimes even before they are conceived. Money marriage is another term for child marriage. However, that definition is somewhat simplistic. Money marriage is sinister, far more sinister. Child marriage occurs when the person is married before the age of 18. It is estimated that each day, 41,000 girls, or 1 in 3 girls, in lower income countries will be married before 18. In money marriage, girls of 6 years of age and even younger are given out to men who are several times older than they are.
How you take marry Nama?
I don't know. The time why this one I come send me. I don't know.
When I was 3 years old, they now carry me to this man's house.
That why ain't give me, so I be there 7 years old. Carry me, I be there at 3 years old. Carry me, go give there.
This could be to settle a debt incurred in the treatment of an ill parent or relative, or in the burial expenses of a relative, etc.
My uncle went and borrowed money from one man. When I was my mother's womb, the man came and told my mother that when my mother give birth to me, they will carry me and go and give for money woman.
Now the time when my papa be old, when he be that time when he also no get money, he can't decide to go carry me, give for one man. His name now Clement, E.G. So that he go get money when he feed with family. When he can't carry me, give for that man.
When I be give them, say because of corn, when they carry me go give them.
Because of it?
Corn.
You think corn?
They be want use the corn do something. That's why they make. Go give me the way they give them corn.
As my grandmother be nowhere, then they don't get money to go operate my grandmother. So they go collect 10,000 for Anthony to go operate my grandmother. So my mother tell me that they say if I grow, the man will come and take me. I'll be a money wife.
These girls are stripped of all rights and dignity. Their buyers are free to do with them as they please. They can assault them, starve them, sell them, or even kill them without consequence.
You see, they can't spoil the sofa. The man, they beat me, they quarrel me, they maltreat me bad. Now I can't remember, say, I can't say, wait till I can't there for this place. Where did they maltreat me when my mother they alive? Where my father they alive? So far that day, if you go there, even in days tomorrow, if you never reach 10 years, you go see, if the man clear farm, he go tear, give you so that you go, for that farm you go to weed, where you go get money, you feel harvest, go say, and sometimes you weed that farm, the wife go just collect, and the wife go they carry you go farm, and he own you the way you go carry put for school, you no go school, you go then a house, they do farm, maybe as you do small, so you go they take farm, give you where you go, so maybe rain fall, the woman go tell you, say, man, I come out, go farm, and I go farm, go so far there, rain go they fall on there.
The man will beat me. He sent me to sell things at the market. The wife was beating me. Sent me to go farm.
The woman say I be rich, I'm gonna kill her. So you can't reach April 19. The man say he wants to sleep now. Then I say no, I never reached for sleep. Oh, because my mother tell me say if you never matured fine where the person sleep you will come be somehow. So I never reach where person go feel sleep me.
They can also be used to sexually entertain friends of the buyer. Even their female children can be sold into money marriage to continue the evil cycle of sexual, social, and economic slavery. These little girls are sexually preyed upon by their money husbands and are forced into childbearing long before their bodies are ready for the exacting demands of motherhood. Because of their young ages, many of them end up with vesical or rectal vaginal fistula, VVF. This in an environment that has severely limited access to medical facilities. The documentary team found the Ranch Health Center under lock and key. It had been so for many months. The team were able to access another health facility in Kigo, a nearby community. Some of these girls are referred from there, Kigo, to the General Hospital at Sankwala, the headquarters of the local government.
If we discover that pregnancies that will amount to such bad conditions are always referred to Model General Hospital, Sankwala, and the various features that are always captured before the referral are effected are that when women have come with very short status, as well as maybe the pelvic is not very, very broad, with very tiny waist, with a highly heavy pregnancy, such status are not really spell well if the woman will be free from VVF. So such conditions are always worth being referred. And the case that we have referred that before really got to a model general to Sankwara, which was actually such case. The lady was pressed upon, and even then, the VVF came on board, and they really got to take care of her there.
So when woman carry belle, how they take born?
We dey register am for ranch. When he won't born, when he struggling to wey pikin no comot, we dey carry am go hospital.
How na go take carry am? I just dey wonder, so I no get road. How na dey take carry am?
We tie am for stick, use stick tie am, carry am for shoulder, carry am go ranch.
In week 10 years with pregnancy, right? They come here maybe 4 times, 4 days a week, come, and in a month, it take more than maybe half, maybe 16 or maybe 15 days in a month, comes periodically. And a week, let me say just a week, we have 5, yes, 5, about 5, 4 to 5, used to come that platform.
We had up to 100 and something that they came for one day. That was the day we had. Without free treatment, we used to have almost 3, 4, 5 a day. Look at the record. This one, the one that we don't have free treatment. We used to have about 3, 4 a day. Or 5 a day.
When I free treatment,
this is for me alone.
However, cases of VVF are referred to Ogoja General Hospital, Ogoja, which is about 110 kilometers away from Becheve land. This is, of course, only for the few girls who are fortunate enough to find sponsors for their treatment. A money wife must fend for herself, her children, and her buyer. It is a cruel, hard, miserable life. She must eke out a living through farming and trade. She could also be pressed into commercial sex work with the knowledge and consent of her owner.
Na me dey wash the man clothes. Sometimes the man go send me in the night. Na me dey cook. Sometimes she go beat me.
It is reported that many of the girls who frequent the ranch resort to interact with tourists and visitors are money wives.
Like me, they send me where I there for 4 years child. So I never reach the man won't sleep me where I no like.
That me as a this one, me I just be as in good, I be money. I know if you do anything again, my life is in your hands. So nothing, my parents have, and they have nothing in my life again. So he can kill me at any time as he used to slaughter fowl.
Many money girls would refuse to be sold into money marriage if they knew what they were getting into. But they don't. Their parents or relatives would use lies, subterfuge, and other tricks to sell them into a life of sexual slavery, misery, and a bleak future.
There is my grandfather. He was not having money, so he went and borrowed 100,000 naira from one old man. So he don't have the money to pay it back. He now give Lovett as a money wife.
And because they be carry me go give for the man, I be dey suffer, and then the man they tell me say me na a money woman, he buy me like goat.
The young girls who run back to their homes are driven away or held in captivity until they are taken back to their buyers. They are reminded of the dire consequences of running away.
The first time I run there to my mother's house. So when I come, they now take me to that place. They tie me to that place back. So they tie my hand and my leg. Then 2 guys now hold me to go and drop in Emali. So when they take me to Emali, I was back to my village. So the man and the wife, the first wife, come back to carry me. I fall sick. So when I fall sick, they now carry Lovett, my own junior sister, to go and give the man back.
After a few such futile escape attempts, they resign themselves to their miserable fate. Usually, as part of the marriage rites, a fetish ritual ceremony called Olambe is carried out, during which the souls of the little girls are reportedly invoked into or tied to a wooden image to cage them and cause them to die in the event that they run away.
When I come back from my father's place, I went there to take her back. So when we come back, people was telling me that I'm too small to do that because Lovett is a money wife. If Lovett step out from that man, she will die. So they take her there back. When the man went out to another village, the man traveled to another village. I went there and picked Lovett. But now Lovett is with me.
It is, however, doubtful whether any money girl has died from the consequences of the rituals. Many of the girls don't even believe in the efficacy of the so-called Olambe. What is more certain, however, is that an angry buyer and his relatives often help the gods bring punishment to the money wife by taking matters into their own hands.
There is one thing we call in our language, Otumbo. They'll carry it and keep in the sun. She will start sick. It's just a stick, they'll call your name there like 6 days or 7 days. Then they'll keep dry it in the sun. They'll rub oil over it. Then drop it in the sun. When the oil is finished in that thing, then you yourself, you will die.
Is it possible those stories may not be those sad are true? Your girl, Philip, has not been seeing her messes since she left her husband. Yes, and she gathered that, part of her pubic hair was taken, and tried to roll out of it.
Okay, is it part of the culture that pubic hair will be taken?
Well, that I don't know, but it behoves on the person.
My grandmother told me that nothing will happen, they're just carrying them away.
If a money wife dies without giving her husband a child, the family of the dead girl must provide the creditor with a replacement, another little girl. This is the fate of female children born in Becheve land in Obanliku local government area of Cross River State, Nigeria, where the community celebrates the selling of children as brides to men older than their parents in the settlement of debts incurred by said parents.
What you have, where you still come off with the money, please?
My sister go carry me.
As your sister go carry you, the man no?
No.
As your sister go carry you, the man don't come for that place?
No. When the man bring my parents problem that is going to bring juju to my father, then my grandfather is dead and my daddy is not here, he's in Abuja, and it's only my grandmother and my own mom that is here. So the man said that let them return the money, nobody to pay the money. Then I said that Lover should go.
We encountered ample evidence of the existence of the evil culture, a fact that some of those interviewed tried to hide.
The money wife is the misinterpretation of a Becheve language. I mean, it's the interpretation of Becheve that has interpreted directly that is money wife. Otherwise, it is not like a legal wife. Because a Becheve man is proud of getting that legal wife. If you have that legal wife, then you have completed your marriage.
Your government did not want it, that we shall adjust and will stop it.
Was it your culture?
It was our culture, but we'll stop it because government don't want it and will stop it.
Because if you stop a Becheve man to say money woman, then you are just, it's just like you are stopping a Christian to marry a Christian marriage.
Our people in those days, they practice it. Yes, because why they were doing it is that there was no money, hunger, and sometimes maybe people, he have an issue in the police, he has issue in task.
You have a money wife?
Yes.
This matter is not by force. It's just by preaching. So in our first meeting, like the meeting we are holding today, the first thing in our meeting, that is what will start. This thing we are asking. I don't know whether are you still doing it. If you are still doing it, stop.
However, this has been sufficiently refuted, first by the brother-in-law of a widowed money wife. Second, by Madame Maria.
So you will continue giving money, gold, chips, that when you have a woman, you give to me as my money woman. So when the girl now has not been born, they not show the girl now, which is they gave the girl which is over 4 or 5 years old, that this is his wife. That it's just like somebody is owing you and is coming to pay you. That has been paying you, has been owing you for so long, and this is your something that we have agreed to pay you. So the child has been now matured for 5 years now. So you cannot take care of your property. This is your own property, so that you may take and grow her. So my uncle grow her to the extent that she's like this now. So when she was small, when I get there, she cannot even go to street to carry water. So she grew the girl up. So finally, he died.
Na ara na wogu na mabakana na abakana wazo o tunga ura no yina uko muko mama na wona alowe o golton no bal sa no simengo no na.
Then by an elite.
Those traditions we really need them to go with time. We cannot in the 21st century be practicing what they practiced in the 16th, 17th, 18th century. Because most of all these traditions come from the olden days. Why would you marry a child of 2 years? You're wicked. Why would you marry a child of 12 years? You're wicked. Why would you sleep with a child of 12 years? That's purely wickedness. To me, it's as the same offense the mother had committed. You've destroyed the person, the child, because at this point you know nothing. That's why I would also welcome the amendment proposal. When a law is being tested, we propose a bill to law. We test it, and once it's tested, we sit back to see where we can make amendments. So I commend you for such initiative.
There is indeed overwhelming evidence that money marriage exists and persists in Becheve land. It is the dark reality of many a girl child.
Maybe the man who get money, they go carry money, give. When you get became marry, I look for money woman. That one I'm not sure.
Okay, when the man gets money, he carry
that
give.
Is at times maybe I go to sick.
Yeah.
I come to meet. I will go meet to say, I said this I not get money. You get small money there for house. Give me my camera because go hospital. So maybe I not gonna get the money again. I said okay. I said I don't get money, so maybe I will give him my.
Okay.
Yes, when you finish the money, when you complete the money, you carry the baby. Once stay without see when she grow up. No be just tell like a money woman.
Okay.
No be say if you carry money woman, you go market her. So as our chief dey talk, now it's the thing that me now. And if you say I'm for now the thing start because no be say that today the thing don't start. Then second, when people at times when people come when they come, they say. As you can't get money man so you carry and go somewhere because your husband don't die. Maybe like that for our village.
Okay. So now
even our clan head did this weekend.
You get your own money
yes.
woman. Okay, that man will live for that big house.
Clan head. He get money man for house. Just small like this. So that one I want natural something. We just get a culture.
Okay, na culture for Becheve here.
The The money marriage is a deeply entrenched practice in Becheve land. However, not every Becheve native is in support of it. Many are quite outraged at the practice. But what are these enlightened Becheve sons and daughters doing about it?
There was a time I went to Calabar over this matter. And I came in here with 12 policemen. I said, see, this matter has reached the government. And that is how the government sent these policemen to come and tell the people. That meeting was made up. The whole family unit in Becheve. It was all outside.
Money marriage is at one end of the marriage spectrum in Becheve. At the other end is love marriage. This is the normal marriage between consenting adults. A matriarchal feature of love marriage is that, in the event of divorce, the Becheve culture allows the woman to go away with the children of the marriage. In this wise, money marriage can be seen as a reaction to matriarchy. The money marriage culture thrives in the presence of ignorance, severely limited education, poverty, and underdevelopment. Becheve has a rugged mountainous terrain that limits its accessibility to other parts of the local government area. This partly explains the low presence of government. The Becheve people live in a contiguous area that includes territories not only in Obanliku local government area of Cross River State, but also Benue State, as well as the neighboring Republic of Cameroon. Some of these communities are closer to their sister communities in Cameroon than they are to the government of their own country, Nigeria. Perhaps, knowing how easy it is for border communities to be left behind in terms of development and the provision of basic infrastructure, the Cross River State government created the Border Communities Development Commission with a mandate to help develop border communities. The commission does not seem to have done much in Becheve land. Apart from the moral repulsion of the practice, money marriage also has ingredients that constitute crime. These crimes include child marriage, rape, and trafficking. Principal Counsel of Basic Rights Counsel Initiative (BRCI) talks about the relevant laws and its implementation in Cross River states.
Nigeria has a fairly comprehensive legal regime. For instance, Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Act 2015 clearly prescribes 7 years imprisonment to any person who is convicted for using a child as a security for death. We also have the Child Rights Act 2003 and the Child Rights Law 2009. Section 3132 of the Child Rights Law 2009 makes it criminal for any person to have any form of sexual relationship with any person under the age of 18. The punishment for sexual intercourse, regardless of consent, to any person with any person under the age of 18 is life imprisonment. What is more? What is the problem? These laws exist, but these laws are known more in breach than in adherence. We also, I think the biggest challenge will be our institutions. Most of our institutions have failed the system, or the system has failed the people. The rate of sexual exploitation in Nigeria is increasing, or maybe reportage is increasing. Because one will wonder, why should we have the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Act 2015 and in a community, an entire community, 10 villages in an entire community has this harmful cultural practice where children are sold out or used as collateral for debt, and nobody has been arrested, nobody has been prosecuted, nobody is saying anything. We pretend as if it doesn't exist, but we have laws. We have reported these cases to the police. The police appear to be helpless how to tackle issues of sexual exploitation against children.
A number of faith-based organizations are engaged in tackling the problem. Some have rescued some money women by engaging their creditors and paying off their debts.
We've spoken so strongly against this practice
We led so many advocacy groups. And then as a people who pray, we've also been praying about it. But besides prayer, we've also helped to liberate some of these girls, put some of them in school. Some of them have had to learn 1 or 2 skills. Some of them are free today. We're trying to also network with like-minded people to see how much we can do to both liberate them and rehabilitate the girls to give them a better future.
But the problem with this approach is that it amounts to rewarding perpetrators for criminal behavior. It could also encourage the practice. While this is not the ideal approach, it is also clear that the wholesale arrest, prosecution and imprisonment of these perpetrators may not be the best way to go either. What is the government doing about this? Governments at the local, state and federal levels are ill-prepared to tackle the challenge of child marriage. For instance, the federal government does not seem to know the extent of the problem. In a document entitled National Strategy to End Child Marriage in Nigeria 2016 to 2021, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development mentions Bayelsa and Edo, 2 out of the 6 states in the south-south geopolitical zone of the country in relation to the problem. And even then, it states that the prevalence of child marriage in those 2 states is low. It makes no mention of the prevalence levels in the other 4 states of the region, suggesting in effect that those states have been surveyed and found to have no practice of child marriage. That would be comforting if it were true, but it is alarming for such a document to be silent on Cross River State, where a virulent form of child marriage is being practiced. It calls into question the accuracy of the countrywide information that the government is putting out and working with. There are a number of organizations that are working to end money marriage. One of these is Basic Rights Counsel Initiative, BRCI, a charity founded by James Ibor and Esogene Edoja. James Ibor is a lawyer and a famous child rights activist. The charity they run is committed to the safeguarding of the rights of children. Becheve girls who are caught up in money marriage are denied basic education. They are denied the dignity of the human person. They are denied a say in who and when to marry. They are denied opportunities for social mobility and are exposed to health hazards such as HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases as well as VVF. These are causes that the charity exists to fight. The charity carries out enlightenment campaigns and advocacy and also works with similar themed organizations to provide shelter, emotional and psychological support to these girls who manage to escape from their captors and their collaborators. They have helped rescue a few money marriage survivors. Money marriage is a manifestation of child marriage, one of the developmental challenges affecting children worldwide. Prevention of child marriage in Nigeria, Africa's largest country, remains a significant social, economic, and health problem.